Hi there, Lloyd Machedo. It's me from LloydMachedo.com. Who's Lloyd Machedo and Think Personal Branding. Here is a key tip that I'll give you where your resume is concerned. Now, almost everyone who has a resume tries to do this common thing. They would put their name at the top. They would say, profile of Richardson Donner, or resume of Ram Kumar, or business summary of XYZ. So all this is good. Then they would have the second thing that people normally tend to do is after they put their name and their contact details at the top, then they use color, they use amazing layouts. That is what visually stands out in a resume. I've seen blue resume, blue on white. I've seen black on white. I've seen neon yellow and dark blue. I've seen pink and purple. I've seen green and yellow. So I've seen all kinds of resumes, all kinds of formats. I've even seen resumes where the guy is posing as if he's a model. I've seen females try to put themselves on the resume as if they are, it's a glossy magazine cover. I've seen box resumes. I've seen video resumes. I've seen resumes that open up as a map. So I've seen different kinds of resumes. Now, it's okay to get creative, but the one principle that I always follow where resumes are concerned is you need to ensure that if anyone were to look at his resume, let's say that you have worked hard in making the colors stand out, in the layout that stands out, everything. The most important thing that you need to focus on after you've done all these gimmicks, I call them gimmicks because it's you wearing an expensive shirt or a suit or driving a Bugatti to work, okay, just to impress the owner. It finally comes down to content. So what I tell people is make sure that after you grab the person's attention with the colors, the layout, and all the jazzy stuff that you put, make sure that the message jumps out. Your resume should make sure that it jumps out, it pops out. Now, what do I mean by this? Is you need to have that statement, that sentence, that singular message that comes out from your resume and makes the employer look and say, wow. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say, for example, you are talking about applying for a sales job, okay? The normal salesy guy would say, sales professional, sales leader, whatever. What if you had a resume where it says at the top, #1 sales, #1 award-winning sales professional for the last 7 years, okay? Right at the top next to your name, or award-winning sales, whatever, okay? But you need to back it up with facts later on. Or you're talking about, something that you've done in terms of, let's say, engineering. Now, engineering is, you can't say award-winning engineer because maybe you're just a normal engineer. So what can you say in your resume that makes it pop out? Now, let's say you're an engineer, you're applying for a job, you're applying for a senior level job. Now, there are different categories of engineer. There is project manager, there is engineering manager, there's technical manager. So you need to know what category that you're applying for. And I generally tell the people who are applying for a particular job, ask yourself, the employer, when he looks at the resume, what, if he's looking at 10 different resumes and all of them are the same, engineer, what would jump out? That takes a little bit of thinking. That takes a little bit of, brainstorming. That takes a little bit of research. So you need to study the ads. You need to study the company culture. You need to study the person who's going to take your interview. You need to find out bits and pieces of this. Now, is it the HR who's going to look at your resume? Is it the final decision maker? Is it the CEO? And based on that, you need to ensure that after your name, whatever you say next really jumps out. One of the fail-safe strategies that I do is I tell them, don't just put one designation there, like engineer, okay, engineering professional, whatever. Put 3 options. Give them 3 options, the best of the 3. The 3 options should be what you're interested to apply in, the categories or the departments that you want to apply for, or something that makes you, kind of like really attractive to that position. So if it's engineer, I would put, to be on the safer side, project engineer. I would put something in terms of technical. I would put something in terms of, let's say, related to the job, it could be, let's say, if you're talking switchgear, if you're talking of civil, if you're talking of commercial, I would put something extra that would add value to all this, because in the end, the employer, when he is looking to employ a guy, he is looking, okay, can this guy fit in different departments? Can he take on as a leader? Can he be a decision maker? Can he be someone who, makes my burden a little bit less? So keep this in mind. When you are submitting your resume, make sure that the resume has the message, the content that jumps out. And the key area in a resume is the top area. Let's say you're looking at the resume. The top is it's like the prime property. It's like the prime location. So don't just put your name. And please don't put your fucking address, staying in this building, this flat, this the same, your mobile number and your email address. That has absolutely zero value. More valuable than that after your name is the position, the designation, or the category that you're applying for. And that should advertise your name, because that is the headline that really captures a person's attention. And keep in mind, everything that follows after that should be in sync with this headline, because it should be attractive. It should have one single message. Don't be a guy who says, I'm good at sales, I'm good at marketing, I'm good at budgeting, I'm good at leadership skills. Don't put everything all together, because when you're everything to everyone, you're nothing to no one. Okay? So the power resume, keep this in mind. A power resume is, when you look at the resume, the single sentence or the statement or the phrase jumps out of the resume. It grabs a person's attention. And the 3 I's, I always tell people, have the 3 I's. It should be informative. It should give enough information, but it should be interesting also. So the guy wants to read more, and it should be intriguing, where you say, but you don't say enough. So the guy really wants to see more. It's like putting a bikini and you just want to, make sure that you expose a little bit more to say a little bit more. So keep it that way. And that is how your resume will stand out. So this is a power tip that I can give you where resumes are concerned, resume rebrands are concerned. Make sure that you not only focus on the layout, you not only focus on the design, the content. Remember this, content is key. So make sure that you have the singular statement, the single message, the single phrase that the minute the guy sees, he reads the headlines, he says, wow, I need to call this guy. We need to call this guy, or he should read it and say, call this guy for the interview. So I hope this tip helps you. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't like it, thumbs down. Put your comments, always read them. This is me signing off for now. Take care.